Hello, my name's Tony Hawk. Welcome to visit our YouTube channel. I hope you enjoy this retrospective video on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. Subscribe.
Okay, so I know it's been a minute since I last uploaded a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater video. Like, a few months. Hey, don't get mad at me. I'm just some dude. But I recently got an actual PlayStation 2 to get a full, authentic, nostalgic experience. So if the gameplay doesn't look super crisp 4K HD, that's the reason. And so I finally got around to replaying through Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. With the new 3+4 remake around the corner, I decided now would be the perfect time to revisit the series once again. Yeah, I'm trying to beat YouTube's algorithm. Don't judge me. So how well does the original THPS 4 hold up in 2025? Well, let's find out. So sit your ass down, grab your popcorn, and let's get into it. By the time Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 released in 2002, the series had already established its rhythm. 2-minute runs, arcade-style goals, tight levels that felt like puzzle boxes with a badass soundtrack that defined a generation. But Pro Skater 4 quietly broke that pattern. The timer was gone, goals weren't dumped on you in the start of the levels, they waited. The world didn't push back. Instead, it opened up. The levels are now more so free roam, and you would skate up to characters with shiny arrows over their heads. People just begging to be talked to, kinda like me. But Neversoft didn't advertise this as a major overhaul, but that's exactly what it was. A shift from arcade challenge to open-ended exploration, from strict structure to controlled freedom. It didn't get a flashy subtitle, and it didn't star Bam Margera. And because of all that, it's the one people kind of forgot. Not the beginning, not the sellout, the one in between, the red-headed stepchild, if you will. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 is the black sheep of the franchise. Not because it failed, but because it was too early to be fully understood. Now, I recently have been seeing Pro Skater 4 get a lot of love and respect from the community. And it's honestly deserved, because I always felt for a while that this was the Tony Hawk game that we all just kind of blocked from our memories. Inevitable. Or maybe I'm speaking for myself here, because this game is surprisingly difficult. Not difficult in the Elden Ring sense, but I noticed it was a lot more challenging in comparison to its predecessors. And now I realize Pro Skater 4 is a lot better than I remember. So how did we get here? By 2002, Neversoft had already shipped 3 Tony Hawk games in as many years. That's not a development cycle, that's actually a cry for help. But instead of burning out, they evolved. Pro Skater 4 was seen as a transitional game. Not quite the story mode era of Thug, but no longer shackled to the arcade roots of THPS 1 through 3. The biggest change was missions now came from talking NPCs in the world. Under the hood, they upgraded the level streaming system to support larger maps and more seamless transitions. And they refined spine transfers and physics, so that it felt smoother to fall directly on your face from greater heights. You know, important stuff. Behind the scenes, Neversoft was already laying the groundwork for Underground, the first Tony Hawk game with a real story and full character progression. So THPS 4 became a quiet prototype for all that. It gave players more choice, more space, and slightly more reasons to question the people asking them for help. And just when you think you're done, the game unlocks the pro goals, which are like the normal goals, but designed by someone who thinks pain builds character. One of them asks you to combo an entire level without touching the ground for more than half a second. Another just tells you to hit an insane score and then quietly judges you when you don't. So yeah, THPS 4 didn't just change the formula. Instead of stat points, the levels have cache icons that you can use to get tons of unlockables. There are secret skaters like Eddie from Iron Maiden. I like his little boogie down he does. And even Jango Fett, I think it's so sick. I really wish they would bring Star Wars characters back to the series. I want to skate around as Darth Vader or Obi-Wan Kenobi. But Pro Skater 4 tested whether players would even notice the structure was missing, then doubled down with some of the most brutal skill checks in the series. It was freedom, and it was a challenge. And man, let me say, the soundtrack in this game has to be my favorite right next to 3. I mean, come on, the opening intro is TNT by AC/DC. That's already banger number 1. All My Best Friends Are Metalheads by Less Than Jake, banger number 2. And Spokesman by Goldfinger, listen, I know everyone talks about Superman from the OG Pro Skater, but in my opinion, Spokesman? Way better song. And these are all just tip of the iceberg. I started off in the Create a Skater, and didn't really know what I wanted to do with it, but after I saw the mullet option, I figured it'd be pretty funny if I made Dominic Mysterio. I like to think it came out pretty well for what options I was given. The first level was college, a generic American campus where not a single person is attending class. The vibe is less higher education and more so student loan avoidance. But as a level, it's pretty cool. I like how the original Pro Skater 1 and 2 each had School 1 and 2 respectively, while Pro Skater 3 didn't have a school. I think it's really cool how 4 gave us the evolution of the concept. Courtyards full of ramps, rooftops you can reach, football players, and bums on hallucinogenic drugs. I saw all this in my school, so it's nothing new to me. Also including the fun little tennis minigame that I suck at a lot more than I realized. It's a tutorial level technically, yes, but no one ever treats you like you need one. Just blinking arrows and no overbearing narration. Just a space to mess around, discover objectives, and plenty of people to run into. Next up is San Francisco, a city known for tech startups, rent that costs more than your liver, and hills that shouldn't legally exist. In-game, it's a beautifully layered map. One big slanted landscape that turns every slope into momentum, and every sidewalk into a path. You can skate across rooftops, jump between buildings, and find shortcuts between alleyways. It's structured chaos with a clear sense of direction, if you're willing to find it, and yet nothing about it feels forced. No objectives pop out at you. The game just trusts you to explore. I always love this one goal that involves this painter dude getting trapped near death by Jeff over here. Only for us to commit animal crimes.
Nice car.
Don't tell PETA. Next is Alcatraz. And yes, they decided to turn the famous prison into a skateboarding level, and it's absolutely genius. It's honestly one of my favorites in the game. Basically saying, you know, what if you were in prison? But it was fun. Alcatraz is a compact map with tons of verticality, ramps, stairs, rails, and spooky ghost stories if you've got the time to read the signs. And lots of missions that include helping out this prisoner that apparently escaped 40 years ago, or collecting combo letters for the warden, which was a new goal type added. And they're always pretty cool because, man, do these get difficult later on. But that's what makes this game cool, is that you really do feel like you're learning more and more and getting better. Like actual skateboarding. Whoa! Despite its size, it's tight and layered. There are small transitions tucked into corners, weird hidden gaps, and plenty of lines that require you to actually plan your route instead of just mashing buttons and hoping for divine intervention. It also has this little baseball minigame which I absolutely love. Now we hit Kona. Yes, Kona. The level that looks like someone fused a public skate park with a 1970s fever dream. Based on the real-life skate park of the same name in Jacksonville, Florida, Kona is one of the more purely skate-focused maps in the game. And honestly, it's my least favorite in the game. Obviously, they've done real-life skate parks in previous games, but this one is different. And I don't know. I feel like this level just doesn't work. It's just my silly opinion, of course, but I don't enjoy this one as much. Maybe it's that damn snake run goal. My god.
2,000 years later.
Or Rick Thorne's do a misted flip over the hut gap. These goals are just a pain in the ass and require actual skill, or just maxed out stats. Most of the goals are very skill focused here, but what makes Kona unique though is how much it rewards flow. If you can keep your line going, you can chain half the park into one combo. If you can't, you'll find yourself accidentally launching into a bowl with no exit, like a rat in a concrete maze. Now we go to the shipyard, which is just an industrial accident waiting to happen. Shipyard is what happens when someone turns a construction site into a playground and forgets to tell Asha. It's gritty, rusted, and constantly in motion. Literally. Cranes swing, platforms moves, and entire sections of the level just casually shift while you're trying to land a combo. It's another I'm not a huge fan of. I personally just think it's really ugly, and it has way too much going on.
What the hell is this?
You'll often find yourself doing transfers across cranes or bouncing from platform to platform like some kind of rail riding raccoon. There's a terrifyingly large vert ramp built into the hull of the ship, and the moment you realize you can air out of it into the crane arm, you understand this map wasn't built by humans. It was forged in chaos. The pro goals here? Brutal. At least one of them will involve crossing half a level on a single combo line that may or may not have been built by an actual supervillain. Next we have London. Gritty and full of annoyed NPCs calling you a bloke. What does that mean anyway? I always wondered that. London is a blend of real-world landmarks and exaggerated Tony Hawk physics. You've got double-decker buses, cobblestone alleys, giant museum ramps, and combo lines that feel like they were built specifically to ruin your day. I was never crazy about this level, but it is still pretty fun. Now, this was the first game in the series to have full flatland combos. Not sure why the game waits till this level to introduce it. And I think we all know that flatland combos were the way to go. Just pushing different button combinations while in a manual leads to some big ass scores. And of course the mission which involves you saving Stompy the elephant from getting brought back to the zoo. We love you, Stompy. Also, I can't forget to mention this pimp that has you bet on what girl will win in a slap fight. This game was wild, dude. Next up, the zoo. Yes, it's a zoo. No, you can't explain it. It just is. This level was unapologetically weird, but damn it do I love it. Zoo is where THPS 4 hits peak absurdity, and fully embraces it. You're in a public zoo, which is already a strange place to drop in on a board, but the game never questions it. No security, no angry zookeepers, just you, your deck, and the distinct possibility of kickflipping over an endangered species. The goals that involve you saving the zookeeper from the lion exhibit, and yes, you have to get them back into the enclosure while they look at you like you're a piece of meat. There's mini games that have you catching bird eggs and avoiding monkeys throwing their shit at you. You can also make an elephant go on a rampage to get into the aquarium. Wait, what did you call her? But I thought we saved Stompy. Did they steal her back? Sons of bitches. What makes Zoo surprisingly strong as a level isn't just the novelty. There are actually really smart design choices baked in. Multiple height layers, curved transitions, and a layout that lets you snake through habitats without ever breaking your combo. The layout is ridiculous, but it's fun, bright, packed with secret paths and hidden gaps, and tons of personality. If you can get over the ethical implications, it's one of the most imaginative maps in the game. The last two levels in the game have to be unlocked with the in-game cash you earn, including Carnival and Chicago. And now, Carnival is what happens when you skate through a fairground designed by Tim Burton's unpaid intern. The map is visually overwhelming on purpose. It's more like a county fair. It's less Festival of Joy and more sensory overload challenge map. But underneath all that noise is one of the tightest designed, most combo-friendly stages in the game. The roller coaster track? Grindable. The tilt-a-whirl? Skatable. The haunted house? Being terrifying. And there's a minigame where you have to cut logs by yourself, in a competition. But here's the twist. If you actually stop and learn the layout, Carnival turns into one of the best line building maps in the game, in my opinion. Every awkward turn has a purpose, every ledge leads somewhere. It's a maze disguised as a meme. And even, what's that? Oh dear sweet mother of God. Chicago is the final level in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, which I believe is from Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX. I never played those games, but I heard they aren't that bad. Honestly, I won't go into too much detail about this level. It's just kind of okay. It was clearly more designed for BMX, so yeah. Neversoft didn't really touch this. I guess they thought at the time it would be cool to have it, and it kinda is, but it's not really my favorite. Alright, let's nitpick real quick. Now, some goals are confusing. Like they say grind a certain ledge, but it turns out it was the other ledge that just looks exactly the same. There's also another goal that involves you having to get these grind blockers off of a ledge, and there's a security guy that is there blocking it, and I didn't know that you apparently have to wall ride on the alarm to get him to go away, and then you can grind him off. But the game doesn't insinuate that at all. You just kind of have to figure it out. And it just took me a lot longer than it should have. The difficulty spike is real. You'll go from do a simple trick to collect these 5 things while fighting gravity and your own sense of despair. The camera occasionally goes rogue, like it forgets it's a camera and starts role-playing as an idle sim. And yeah, graphically, it's aged, but you know, it's a 2002 PS2 game. Some textures look like wet cereal, but it's charming wet cereal. That counts for something. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 still works because it respects you. It doesn't hold your hand, it doesn't rush you, it just drops you into a level and says, yep, good luck. The gameplay is still tight, the added spine transfers are super amazing, the vibes are still strong, the zoo is still unexplained. THPS 4 doesn't ask for perfection, it just asks that you try, and try again, until you become a professional. It's weird, but weird in the sense that it's the game that rewired the entire formula of the series, and then it kind of got memory hold for it. This was the last pure Tony Hawk game before the storylines, cutscenes, and all the massive chaos of the Underground games, but it laid the foundation for those games. It dropped the 2-minute timer, it added semi-open worlds, it introduced pro goals that basically asks, hey, what if we really challenged you? And it came from Neversoft, who, by this point, were operating at maximum confidence. This was their 4th mainline Tony Hawk game in as many years. And rather than just add another tier of rails or give Tony a new shirt, they rebuilt the game's structure from the inside out, quietly and efficiently, like a skateboarding SWAT team. And it worked. Mostly. So while Pro Skater 4 laid the groundwork for everything that came after, it rarely gets the spotlight. It's kind of the black sheep of the Tony Hawk family. The quiet middle child. The one who got straight A's but never got a lick of attention from their parents. But for the people who stuck with it, who figured out how to combo across an entire amusement park without touching the ground, it's unforgettable. It's the game where Neversoft proved they weren't just milking a franchise. They were evolving it. And doing so with a level of confidence most developers can only dream of. God, I miss you, Neversoft. So yeah, maybe THPS 4 isn't the one everyone brings up first, but it's the one where the training wheels came off, where the series grew up, just enough to challenge you. It's the best forgotten Tony Hawk game. That's kind of a big flex. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. I'm really looking forward to the 3+4 remake. How about you guys? Are you guys excited for it? Let me know. But with that, that's all from me today, guys. I appreciate you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing. And with that, I will see you guys in the future.
Bust a lip trick! Do a lip trick! Don't move your ass!